you smell.
You're listening to the Davis Sports Feud.
What is happening?
Davis is cooking.
Bruh. Online podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's Kyle Davis of the Davis Sports Feud. The NBA playoffs are here. They have started. If you watched my short little episode I put together yesterday, it was no more than, I don't know, like two minutes. NBA playoffs started. The Heat Bucks kicked it off. Obviously, everybody here, unless you live under a rock, knows that I'm a big Bucks fan. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy. The Bucks started off very rough. The first half, I'm putting anybody before I get started, I should say, if anybody cares to join me, I have put in the comments, I have put the link to this broadcast room that I am currently recording in. If anybody cares to join me, talk shit to me, tell me I'm wrong, have any opinions on the NBA playoffs, I'm going to do a brief overview. I'm going to have a more extensive episode with someone who's been on the show in the past tomorrow. Also, my good friend G might be joining us today to talk about the Bucks game and possibly a couple other games that happened yesterday. But we're going to have a more formal overall preview of the NBA playoffs in the near future, hopefully tomorrow. But yesterday, they kicked off, and just if you haven't seen it, I'm not ESPN, but you know the scores are: the Bucks beat the Miami Heat on a last-second Chris Middleton buzzer beater, 109-107. Brooklyn versus Boston was close throughout most of the game, and then Brooklyn ended up taking over the game, 104-93. I want to talk about that game because I want to talk about something that happened to Kevin Durant in that game, or maybe didn't. It just looked kind of bad. Dallas surprising the LA Clippers 113-103 behind Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis playing a very impressive game. And then Portland, in my opinion, with the biggest surprise, and it wasn't. It was a great game. It was a good game from Damian Lillard, but it was a more impressive game from like Carmelo Anthony, who contributed 18 points, CJ McCollum with 21, Nurkic with 16. It wasn't just Damian Lillard, which I thought if they were going to win this matchup, they would have to really lean on Damian Lillard for the entire. He got his 34 points. He got a lot of scoring, but I mean, to hold Denver and them even without Jamal Murray to 109 points, with Jokic having such a big game and Porter Jr., I just thought that Denver had too many more pieces than Portland did. But regardless, that is what happened with that game. Excuse me. Drink some water. So, currently going on, it is 12:45 on Sunday. The Washington Wizards are playing the Philadelphia 76ers with currently Washington on top at the end of the first quarter, 28-27. I do have a spicy take for that. I have talked to quite a few people. If you know me, I have predicted that Washington will take down Philadelphia in the first round, just because I just truly think Philadelphia as a regular season team is a good team. I just don't think Joel Embiid is, when the game starts slowing down, I don't think he's ready for that moment. Still isn't ready for that moment. Granted, he's been in the league quite a long time. I just don't think he has all of the right pieces to commit to that. But backing up a little bit, the reason I'm putting this episode out is because I'm a massive Bucks fan, and I was going to talk about the Bucks game where the big three put together. What is that? 26, 27, and 20. Giannis put up to 26. Chris Middleton, 27 plus a game winner. And Drew Holiday contributing 20, with even Brook Lopez chiming in for 18 points. Granted, the bench, I thought the bench was going to be a little more of a contributing factor, and I thought they were going to play Jeff Teague instead of Pat Connaughton more, just because Jeff Teague's been impressive throughout the regular season since we got him. Give me 1 second. So, I mean, it was a back and forth game. Giannis really did not have a great game. He went 10 for 27. He got his rebounds, which we knew he would, because this was going to be a defensive struggle of a game. And the game never really got away from them. It never really they never really took off. It was nip and tuck the entire game. Here's my glaring thing about this game. The Bucks only made 5 3-point shots. They predicate almost their entire offense. Hold on. I have music playing somewhere. They only shot 5 for 31, 16% from 3-point land. Like, they're not going to do that again. And they still won this matchup. Goran Dragic had an unreal game, which is general for any time the Bucks end up playing the Heat. Bam Adebayo had a significantly bad game, only scoring 9 points on 4 for 15 shooting. Jimmy Butler had an even worse game, 4 for 22. Like, the suffocating defense from Jrue Holiday and this overall Bucks team is so much better. This is not, and everybody was saying, "Oh, the Bucks really got to watch out for the Heat in this first round matchup." Yeah, they can't take them for granted, but it's like the same thing with the Orlando Magic last year in the bubble. This is not the same Bucks team. Okay, Giannis is the same, Middleton's the same, Lopez is the same, DiVincenzo is the same. And you can even throw Connaughton in there. There are pieces that were not there last year. PJ Tucker for defensive purposes. Bobby Portis for good scoring off the bench. Bryn Forbes, who is a 3-point. He can do really well with 3-point shots throughout the entire game. This isn't the same Bucks team. And everybody, this is almost... I'm looking at the lineup that they trotted out there for Miami. Trevor Ariza's new and Dwayne Dedmon's new. They don't have Jay Crowder, who is lighting up. Duncan Robinson is not going to put up 7 3-pointers every single game throughout this series. The Bucks made 5 3-pointers. Miami quadrupled that, made 20 3-pointers, and could not pull this game out. Points in the paint were 56-24. It was not even close. Rebounding. Miami had 51. Milwaukee had 64. This game went to overtime, and it came down to a buzzer beater, but I don't think this game was close, and I think it really should lean towards people looking at this and like, man, Milwaukee really should have won this game by a lot more. Just because they had almost a historic Houston Rockets-esque 3-point percentage by the end of this game. So, I mean, it's weird. Give me 1 second, please. So, I mean, it's I don't think this game was too close. This game was too close for the entirety of the game. And overall, the field goal percentage was 42 for 96 for the Bucks, 44%. And I'll say it again, Giannis did not have a good game. He might have scored 26 points, but that's on 10 for 27 shooting. He played 45 minutes, so did Middleton. I don't see this happening again. The two players that played on a higher level than everybody else was Jrue Holiday and Brook Lopez. They both shot 50% from the field. Holiday taking 18, Lopez taking 10. The only people who were really making 3-point shots were Chris Middleton, 3 for 9. Brook Lopez made 1 and DiVincenzo made 1. That is your 3-point shooting. Now the Bucks predicate their entire offense on 3-point shooting and defense and getting out on the fast break. And the Miami Heat are the exact opposite, like trying to slow down the game a little bit more. But I can't see the Heat winning more than one game. I think this is going to go 5 games. I think the Bucks are going to take this other one at home, and I think Miami will take one on the road. But I think Milwaukee will give them the quote unquote gentleman's sweep. That's all there is to it, if I'm being completely honest. Other than that, I saw a post that said compared a shot that Kobe made to Chris Middleton's game winner. Now there's similarities in the shots, but everybody's flipping their lid because they're trying to everybody is trying to think that they're comparing Chris Middleton to Kobe Bryant. Now, when it comes to making any shot within the 3-point line, that I'll give a comparison to Kobe Bryant. But other than that, Chris Middleton is a taller guy. He's slower. He doesn't get to the basket like Kobe did. Isn't consistent enough from 3-point shot. Like I don't understand the comparison, but I see we have a visitor. I'm going to welcome on this guy right away. I know he's got some takes about the Bucks. So this is G. Welcome, G. How we doing, man?
We are good. We are.
I hear you got something brewing today with you and what do you and Kyle got going on over there?
Today we are working on a 13-pound brisket.
Okay. Ooh.
We started at 7 a.m.
Mm.
Got some good beverages going.
As do I.
We got that going. In a little bit, I'm about to get the stuff I need to do a smoked mac and cheese.
Ooh.
And then we have pork chops right now, and one of them. Yeah, a lot of goodies.
Sounds like you got a good Sunday grub going on today.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to catch any of the Bucks game?
I caught enough. It seems like Giannis is falling into his same woes. I'm not very happy about it. But Middleton is starting to come off into his own now, which is good.
Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of going over a couple things, and I was saying just that Giannis is falling into that, like, he has to put his head down and try and get to the basket. He shot 10 for 27, which is god-awful for him. But this game, like, the Bucks overall only made 5 3-point shots. That's not going to happen throughout this series. Duncan Robinson made 7 3-pointers, which also isn't going to happen. I mean, can you see a way that Miami takes this series?
It's going to come down to a lot of defensive stops. Like that's really what it's going to come down to. And like I said, like the key to Miami, like upsetting the Bucks right now is Giannis is like he's very prideful right now, extremely prideful. He like the last 2 years have shown us that he feels that he's putting this all on his shoulders. I think the hype has gotten to him a little bit. With that, I mean, like you're not like as Bucks, right? Like as the Milwaukee Bucks, you're not gonna win any series or any games for that matter when you can't even capitalize on the free throw line.
Right, 100%.
Like what was Giannis? What was that? Like 6 for 13 or something? It was something outrageous.
Yeah, it was 6 for 13. He shot under 50% from the free throw line.
There's no reason for that. And then like to get popped off on that 10-second violation. There's no reason for that at all.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more though, because he takes god awful long every single time he pulls a free throw.
He flirts very heavily with it. And I think that's what Caron Butler was talking to with the refs. He's almost counting it right next to the ref. So that's a major issue. I don't know if he's very nervous. I think he has to be nervous, man. Like I haven't seen free throw shooting like that since Shaq.
Yep. Well, Shaq didn't take nearly as long to pull those free throws, but he had the same percentage damn near. I could probably pull up comparisons of career free throw numbers, but that's Giannis takes forever to shoot a free throw that doesn't go in 50% of the time.
Yeah. And it's crazy to me, right? Because like you have ample amount of like prep time, right? So like you know what your problem is after the second go round. And you were stopped in the playoffs with the same exact defensive scheme. Like which team was that introduced it? Was it? I think it was Boston that introduced like the whole Greek wall defense, and then Toronto capitalized on it the first time go around, and then and then it didn't happen again the previous year. And it's like at some point in time, like, okay, we get it. You feel that you're a top-notch player, and you feel that you're better than this, and you want to prove the world that this won't overcome you. But even like when we watch Steph go against the Grizzlies, right?
Mm-hmm.
He deferred a lot. He matured a lot in this game to where he can delegate and defer a lot. Almost like feel like he's starting to come into his floor general stage of his career as a point. Like to see him defer off to Draymond a lot, or even like Jordan Poole, who had the hot hand that game.
Oh hell yeah, he's had a hot hand for the last couple games too. He had a hot hand in the playing game against the Lakers too. He hit a lot of clutch shots. Unfortunately, he missed the one that truly mattered. But
right,
he's been getting a lot. That whole Warriors team, that team could be scary next year when Klay comes back.
In all honesty, it could have been scary now, and I don't want to stray too far away from the Bucks. We're gonna come right back to them, but they could have been scary now. But Draymond, the self-proclaimed best defensive player of all time, he had what was that, like 15, 16 rebounds. Like he didn't really do anything on the offensive end, and when it came down to the very last moment, the put-up shot that you have been hitting majority of the game, how do you mess that up? Like, I guess. But going back to the Bucks, I think what it's going to come down to is Middleton needs to be more consistent. Because we've seen this in the past where he'll have one hot game in a series and then just fall right off. And that shot that he took at the end, that clutch shot that he took at the end, he practices that shot repeatedly. Like I have a friend, she works at the Pfizer doing security, and she was filming them like while they were practicing. And literally, you can see him running to take that shot, like in the same spot, in the same twisting fadeaway fashion, 5-6 times in a row. And when he said in the after game interview, the post game interview, where he was like, "Oh, I just needed to get to my spot. I just needed to get to my spot." And he did exactly that. But it shouldn't have to come down to that if Giannis just simply hits free throws. And
agree.
And like, and this might be a little bit of a spicy take, but to me, I feel that in the last 3 minutes of a game, the ball should never touch Giannis' hands. Giannis should be down in the post, be supportive, trust his shooters. He doesn't trust his shooters.
Here's my thing. I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I think when it's down to the last 3 minutes, I think Giannis should be point guard Giannis. Because with this starting lineup of Giannis, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday, and DiVincenzo, if you can run a play like a pick and pop or something like that, because they think every single time if you run a pick and roll with Giannis at the point and you have even like Brook Lopez or even Chris Middleton setting that pick, I would be more fearful of Chris Middleton knocking down a 3-point shot than being able to drive to the basket and go up against Bam Adebayo, who has proven is like Giannis's kryptonite. So I think in that last 3 minutes, Giannis running the point, and you can run a little more pick and roll. You can run a little more cutting action because people are expecting Giannis to drive to the basket every single play. I think if you can get that more rotation going instead of just everyone assuming, oh, here comes Giannis, he's going to drive to the basket, I think you have more opportunities for wide open 3-point shots, and it's just a matter of knocking down those threes.
So with that, that's an offensive scheme and strategy that Coach Bud really has to enforce on Giannis. Because if the ball is in Giannis' hands and he hits the top of the key, he's going to go for the drive and the Euro step 9 times out of 10. Like that's just like, I don't know who's this asshat flying over there. Oh, sorry. A friendly. This is a family.
This ain't family friendly. Drop F-bombs. I don't give a shit.
Who the fuck flybys and a fucking crop duster? Anyways,
they dropping chemicals on you, G.
Killing us softly. At least let me enjoy my brisket before I go. No, but Coach Bud has to get more stern on Giannis. I feel that I feel like the luxury, like Giannis has too much of a luxury right now. He's being too pampered. Mm-hmm. The greats were never pampered. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just be very clear. Phil was just as hard on Michael as he was on Kobe.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like he was equally hard on both of them. Like look at Greg Pop. Like you can only imagine on how hard he was on Tim. Like I feel Milwaukee as a city and as an organization kisses his ass a little too much to where he feels like, oh, it's my team. I do things how I want. And now, mind you, some people might be like, oh, well, gee, that's not fair. That's not right. But if you look at his style and play, it adds up. It adds up. Like how many times have we watched him blow past players wide open begging for the ball to try to make actual plays happen? Mm-hmm. And 3-4 guys collapses on him. He gets tangled up. Yeah, you drew the foul, but if you're only going to make one out of the 2 free throws, if any at all, then what was the point? Like you're causing more harm than good. So within that last, I think it was like 38-second spread at the end of the fourth, when you blew past Middleton when he was asking for the ball, you should have deferred off to him because if they're going to foul him, he's going to make the 2 free throws that's needed to extend the lead by 3 to force a prayer shot for the 3. Now we know in the NBA like 3-pointers are not as hard as they used to be because guys are getting nice. The Steph Curry effect.
And you're getting all the interruptions over there, man.
They don't want me to be great, but no. But it's still a live by the 3, die by the 3 league, right? So it's like if you understand that, you have a problem shooting free throws. Mm-hmm. This is well known. You have an issue shooting free throws. Mm-hmm. But you still put yourself in this predicament to where you have to shoot free throws. You're not gonna get better on the fly. Mm-hmm. It takes hours in the gym. I'm sorry if I'm Coach Bud after that game, even if we fucking won. All right, hey, y'all can go ahead and cut to the showers. Giannis, hey, let me holler at you real quick. Hey, Steve. Hey, you want to grab this roll of basketballs? All right, yeah. Get your ass on the free throw line. Like I ain't got no more time because that's not good. Like if they sneak past Miami, they won't make it past the next round.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Miami is their toughest test because they're the only team left in their place, in their way, because they're going to face Brooklyn, whose defense is not like Miami's, and they're going to face Philly, who's also, well, they have better defense, but Miami is their toughest defensive set. If Middleton, what's that?
What's the bracket looking like, real quick?
Hold on, let me bring it up.
I was gonna look for it. But yeah.
I got you. Give me a second. Oh, that's playing. Hold on. All right, cool. Share. Sorry, technical difficulties. I'm not on top of my game like I normally am. Here we go. There's the bracket. And I'll show it in full screen real quick for everybody. There's our bracket. So if we get past Miami, you have Brooklyn in the second round. And then, because let's be honest, I don't think anybody thinks Boston's going to win that series. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, if Milwaukee makes it that far, they face the Knicks, Atlanta, Washington, or Philly. That's what you get in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, I mean, when I say the toughest defensive stress is going to be in this round, unless they face the Knicks, because the Knicks are, in my opinion, the best defensive team outside of Miami on that in the Eastern Conference.
I feel like they're the most composed team in the Eastern Conference final.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the Eastern Conference in general. I feel like they're the most composed team.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tibbs is on a whole different level right now, and like I really feel like Rose doesn't get enough credit, man. Like he's really went through a really big transformation, a real push in maturity. I just feel like he doesn't get enough credit. But looking at the road there, man, I don't know if the Bucks could sneak past Brooklyn, man.
That's when you think about a route to the finals. Who has a tougher route than the Miami Heat? In a world, they'd have to get past Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia to get to the finals.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. And Milwaukee's got to go through the same thing. Whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference is going to earn it if it's not Brooklyn.
I will say this, that Milwaukee does have a better chance than Miami to beat those odds.
Mm-hmm.
Because they beat the Nets. They beat the Nets twice this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but small note, didn't have James Harden.
True.
And then I think the first game they didn't have Durant, or was it they had Durant and didn't have Kyrie, or they haven't faced Milwaukee hasn't faced Brooklyn at full strength yet. But I was looking at it, and outside of their big three, they scored like 18 points in last night's game. So they had 80 points or 14 points, I think. What the hell was it? It was like some crazy stat that 80 points were scored by Harden Kyrie Irving.
Collectively, yeah.
And then the rest of the team only scored like 18 points or something.
I think because if we look at their, like, they know their roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they understand the end goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Harden knows he doesn't have to take every shot now.
Right.
Durant knows he doesn't have to be as aggressive on his attack. Kyrie understands that, like, hey, like, there's more diversions around now for me to move freely and for me to actually delegate. But I think what it's going to come down to, it's gonna come down to Kyrie. Kyrie, even going into these playoffs, he has a lot of, like, off the court shit that is like, bruh.
He gets in his own head.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, they're all, like, real issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my problem with Kyrie is he acts like no one else knows that these issues exist. He acts like he's the advocate for all these things that's going on in the world, and he acts like he's the only one that knows, and he's telling us. Versus, we already know that. We already know what's going on. It's out of our control, just like it's out of your control. We get that you want to use your platform to bring awareness. Yeah, do that. But at the same time, do your job. At the same time, bring the focus back to the game. And I don't think he's doing that enough. If anything, I feel like he's piggyback riding off of Harden and Durant.
100%. Let's be honest. This is still Kevin Durant's team.
Yeah.
Like, James Harden is a former MVP, yes. Kyrie Irving's won the title before, yes. But this is Kevin Durant's team. Kevin Durant can casually put up 30 points, and he can shoot like 60% and make 60% of his shots. Like, the dude is unreal.
Facts.
But I'm kind of looking at going over the stats. Harden shot 5 for 13. He 13 shots from James Harden.
Jeez.
Yeah. Considering Durant shot 10 for 25, not great either. And Kyrie Irving had the best percentage at over 50%, 11 for 20. and he shot 2 from 8 from 3-point land. See, what James Harden is going to give you is the threat of driving and the threat of that step back. And he also can make any pass on the court. He is one of the best floor generals we've seen in quite a long time. So to put up a stat line of 21, 9, and 8 as your point guard, James Harden, it's going to be tough for any team to beat this Brooklyn team. It's just a matter of, and I think this is why Milwaukee, if they make it to the next round, is going to be such a great threat for them, is Drew Holiday can effectively take almost anybody out of the game.
Yeah.
Giannis he's gonna do that floating defense that he always plays. He never really stays on one player ever. Chris Middleton's an above average defender, as is Dante DiVincenzo. So what I want to see, which we're never going to see because he doesn't do it, Bud needs to look at Giannis and be like, you are as tall as Kevin Durant. You can lock down Kevin Durant. If you can effectively take James Harden and Kevin Durant out of this series and make Kyrie Irving and the rest of that team beat you, I think they have a chance. But Bud needs to look at Giannis and be like, you're the former defensive player of the year last year. Go lock down Kevin Durant and take him out of the series. Because if you can't stop him. But if you can slow him down to like shooting under 50%, under 40% for the entire series, you have a really good chance of beating this Nets team.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Okay.
I'm going to, because what is it, like only 8 games that they played collectively together?
Yeah. I believe 8 games, yes.
You definitely need more than that if you're going to make a deep run push. Like, because like, is the chemistry really there at that point? You can actually you can question the chemistry at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like taking Kyrie out of the equation, like just focusing on Harden and Durant is like, is it going to be the same situation as Harden and Russ? You know what I mean? Like,
it could be. It could be.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't recall Harden ever really having a major push in the playoffs by himself.
No. I think the biggest push he had, he made it to the brink of making the NBA Finals, and then they had that epic collapse against the Warriors where they missed like 20 consecutive 3-pointers or something like that. I think it was a little bit more than that.
Oh my God. I'm looking at Danny right now.
Oh boy.
They're both walking towards me.
Uh-oh. All right. So before I let you go, because we've been running for over 30 minutes, I want one spicy hot take from G coming out of these NBA playoffs, Western, Eastern Conference, whatever round. What's your big take for the NBA playoffs?
Big take.
Hot take that you don't think somebody's going to be thinking about.
I got Memphis making it to the Western Conference Finals.
Holy shit. Let's just bring this little graphic back up real quick. Hold up. I can see it.
I got Memphis going. Lakers. If Giannis is taken out based on, I'm sorry, not Giannis. If LeBron is taken out based on protocol, I got the Lakers going out round 2.
See, have you seen my take? Have you seen my Phoenix LA take? I don't even think they make it past Phoenix.
Oh, without Bron? That's tough,
Bron's got to play a whole series. Anthony Davis has already proven, playing back on the Pelicans, that he can't carry a team by himself.
This is true.
You either have both AD and LeBron, and they can make the finals. If they don't have one of those pieces, they don't make it past whoever they're playing.
Right. Yeah, man. Like I think they'll have enough to push past them, but it's going to be a dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to be a dogfight. But yeah, LeBron fucked up, man. Like like a tequila party. Like, what is wrong with you?
I don't know how he didn't get suspended for that.
I think he's gonna deal with a lot of people in the league like asking for it, because there's been players who have been like sat down for less.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like he shouldn't be any more different. Like he shouldn't be any different at all.
No, like let's say Alex Caruso did that. Alex Caruso would not be playing in today's game. That's just the facts. It's just the facts. It's because it's LeBron. He's getting special treatment. I'm going to give my hot, spicy take real quick. Phoenix is going to the NBA Finals. I think they're going to surprise everyone. They got youth. They're a little inexperienced, yes, but I think they have the pieces to get past LA, because I don't believe in LA. Denver, the winner of Denver and Portland, doesn't have enough depth now, because without Jamal Murray, I don't think Denver's that great of a team. Portland is basically Damian Lillard, who is ridiculous, but I don't think he can put together a 7-game series of cracking 50 points.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you should count out Melo. Melo has been very productive.
That's fair.
Melo's really productive. CJ McCollum, he needs to step up, but overall, Melo has been. I think he's almost in hoodie Melo. He's almost in that mode, man.
I'm taking a quick once over of these teams. Is the Eastern Conference starting to creep back up to the point where they are as good as the Western Conference again?
I was just about to say that.
I'm looking at these teams. We have 3 juggernauts in the East: Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee. New York is on the up and up. Atlanta is getting better. Boston, I don't know. And then Miami's been to the NBA Finals. Like, that's sick. They running 6 deep.
I think what it is that because so many players from the West came over to the East because they believed that the East was a cakewalk, now have changed the overall scale of things. So now East is more of a toss-up. You don't know who's going to win. Whereas the West is a shallow form of itself. You're seeing a whole bunch of teams, like, mind you, the West has always been good, right? The West is never bad. But even like the worst teams on the West, if you put them on the East, they still make a good push. So now you're seeing all those fairly decent, good teams on the West finally starting to make that actual push, because it's not that lopsidedness anymore of which team is the overall best. I will agree with you. Phoenix is a nice one. They're the most composed. Man, like, yeah, Eastern Conference Final. I'll say Memphis versus Phoenix. I mean, for the Western Conference Finals.
No, you good?
Eastern Conference. I'm gonna go with. Man, that's tough, man. Hold on.
It really is. Here, let me bring it back up for you.
I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna go with Philly versus.
Come on, you know you want to chalk it. Just put Brooklyn there. Oh, you want to chalk it? Just put Brooklyn there, because you don't believe in Milwaukee.
Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna have to, because Milwaukee, like I said, like Milwaukee's Milwaukee's Achilles, right, is literally Giannis. Like, in his mind right now, he feels like he has to be that guy. He feels like he doesn't need to defer. He feels like he doesn't need to delegate like his players. Like, you have players who can make shit happen.
Oops, that's the wrong one.
You have players. You have players who can make shit happen, right? Now, don't put too much trust in Middleton.
No,
put enough into him. But I would be more so leaning heavily towards Holiday, and I know DiVincenzo had a bad game. Like, it was a rough game for him. But I would really lean towards him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because those are going to be your transition players that's gonna really like throw in that extra variable that teams don't know how to handle.
Yeah, he had an interesting game. He only shot the ball 5 times. He scored 1 3-pointer, and he got 10 rebounds and 4 assists. So like he was more of that utility man more than he was like a contributing factor. I don't think that's going to be like that the entire season. I think this series is really there. I think the Bucks are going to start throwing different things at him. I don't think it's going to be the same Giannis drive up to the basket and stuff. I think they're going to throw a couple wrinkles into it. But we've been going for about 40 minutes, and we talked mostly about the Milwaukee Bucks. G, I'm going to have you back on. I know you got takes. I know we got stuff to talk about.
I got brisket to tend to.
Yeah, no. You good. I want to make sure. I want to give this guy a shout out. This is G. Check out his Facebook. This is a good guy. He's got good content on his Facebook. He's going to be on here again. He's my NBA guy. He's my expert. He's really dives into that stuff. So
yeah, very, very much so. But don't be afraid to bring NFL talk.
Oh, I'll bring it. Don't worry. G, you're going to be regular throughout the year. Don't worry.
Right on.
Don't worry. But for the Davis Sports Dude, I'm Kyle Davis. This is G. Guys, we'll talk to you later, and we'll talk to you soon. And as always, I'm going to bring you off with a nice little...
Do you smell?
You're listening to the Davis Sports Feud.
What is happening? Davis is cooking.
Bruh. Online podcast.